they go B. If I'm Nemiga, I know Navi have watched those games. It could be really fun to go A instead, just for the hell of it, because it's almost too predictable to end up at the B bomb side here. But let's see how this one plays out. Navi on the CT side, and let's go. One more best of one.
Yeah, Nemiga, they're dangerous. Much like Legacy, they looked like they hit a new ceiling in that last stage, so a lot to be worried about for Navi, but we'll see if they can...
Well, look at it.
Got off to a good start here.
Already setting up for that A split coming in. And again, they're playing against what Navi are expecting, maybe a little bit. 3 people on the site here. They are down in Pop Dog as well, Navi, so they're going to be quick on the retake. Nice flash around the corner. It's Alexi to get the first kill onto Santa. And a 4 versus 5 now. And the rest of Navi rotating in. They've got a great read and a little bit of a labored battle, but JL gets the shot. Wonderful flicks Frisky Bomb straight into the grave. And they win this round with relative ease.
There we go. So pistol on the CT side, always a comforting reality there. For the CTs, of course. But yeah, it's going to be interesting because I feel like with these teams, you know, you're coming in as Navi against Nemiga. It's similar to Vitality coming in against Legacy. It's hard to know precisely what to expect. In addition to that, you've got Nemiga that have gone perhaps much further than anybody expected and have performed much better than anyone has expected. And they're pumped. They have, you know, as you were saying, you know, the stage 1, stage 2 buff because they've been playing on the setups already for a long time. So to see what kind of variance is going to show itself to us in this game of Train now that they're on the pistols.
If really pressed way at the start of the major before we saw any games, if someone would have said who's going to go further, Nemiga or Legacy, I would have picked Nemiga, but I wouldn't have picked them to go into stage 3. Absolutely not. I did have Khan as my rookie to watch, so I'm happy about that. I'm glad that he's still here. I think kind of an underrated AWPer in some sense. But it's not the only one that's been playing well. The whole team has really been stepping it up. Like Lear as a captain, Santa in the last stage had some really cracking rounds, and obviously Shui, I think, is widely regarded as one of those future prospects. I think a lot of people have talked about it. Even the pro scene, he's got a couple of shout-outs from other players, so we kind of know that. It's a 4-1 split, which is super common on Train, and a flash and a peek. It doesn't really get any more standard than that, but it's good work. No investment in this round for Nemiga. They didn't get the bomb planted, so they're chilling out a little bit right now.
Yeah, not too much to talk about in the sense of this is the most standard of standard rounds. Santa has found himself a deep position that may actually catch somebody off guard. So that would be fun if Santa's able to do that.
Yeah, but the rotation is going to be caught with the bomb there, so it's really sick. Okay, yeah, why not make a little bit of extra cash? Immer is dead, but like I said, the problem is the bomb is never going to make its way there.
The damage it could be nice. Another kill. Just keep that CT economy somewhat under control. It's going to be kind of interesting here. He gets shot in the side by Bit. So there we go. It's just amazing that he managed to get a knife. You don't see that very often in those scenarios. But now we get into the interesting counter-strike between these two teams, as we'll see Nemiga being on their first buy round. And again, I've been super impressed by them. Xanta actually, in that heroic match that qualified them through, he was hitting some insane form in that heroic matchup. So yeah, hopefully that continues for him as well.
So on this map, Nemiga are actually pretty big fans of hitting the B-bomb side, even with the rifles. But the other strategy they like a lot is the you know, A from Pop Dog, where you sort of split it up. We've seen it a lot already. The fact that you do both of those just means it's very hard on the CT side to read which one is happening, because you can turn a B attack into, you know, a Pop Dog attack pretty easily by running down that whole wave. So we'll see. They are certainly gearing up for an A split at the moment, but it's so early on that they're not under a lot of pressure to do a lot right here. They can just wait out some of the utility from the CT side. But this first round could really be important for Nemiga to establish some control. You also definitely don't want to see Navi too fired up at the beginning.
Yes, it's minute 10 left on the clock now for Nemiga. 3 players on the B setup for Navi on the defense, so they are really feeling B. But are they going to try to confirm that info? Or are they going to leave just that forward player on E-Box being the only defense they have in Yard, the only way to gather info?
I mean, this seems like an unbelievably risky setup. But that Molotov in main as well, I feel like they have to call people back, because that's the first sign that Nemiga are clearing main, which you would always have to do before you execute onto the A-bomb side. So, yeah, that one Molotov is basically what draws all of Navi back to the Yard now. And they're just leaving Immer in the high ground. I did love this setup from Navi. And the smoke going down at 30 seconds, this is actually sick.
Very close position for JL. Who's there looking for that opening pick. Risky Bob gets taken out, but nice entry. Stray, but is even better coming in from the back. JL with the MP9 was there all along. Now Leah looking to do some damage. 10 seconds to go, but he's going to give this one up entirely. And he has a Galil and the, well, got to save the Kevlar helmet as well, I suppose, but not the best look here for Nemiga. Tried a really slow pace, Anders, and it seems like Navi were able to read the movement very, very well.
This goes back to what I think is just more or less a permanent challenge to any T side. If you clear main with a Molotov, like they did in this round, then yes, you avoid the challenge of the MP9 on JL being close in T main, which is the other real threat. That happens a lot. But if you do it, you're also sending a massive signal to the CT side saying, yeah, we're clearing main so we can take A. Like, it's so telegraphed, and that's why Navi know. The problem is, obviously, if you don't throw the Molotov, then very, very often CTs are in there. Like, they take main control all the time. So it's just not easy to solve that problem, and definitely Nemiga played right into the hands of Navi in this round. Now, Bits being a bit aggressive. Don't know if I love this. He's got the rifle, and now he's donated it straight to the Nemiga side. As Santa will find that shot, so just not necessary, in my opinion, at all.
And the interesting thing here for Navi is that, you know, Nemiga, they could try to reset cache info plays. And even if they go into a stack hit, it still doesn't look too bad for them. But they're going to try to challenge this upper site, upper part of the site, and they're going to keep taking down my Ima. So, oh my goodness, another one from Ima there in the upper position. It's just immovable. Trying to find something with the Deagle, the running gun eventually. It's going to yield success. 2v1 here, still doable for Nemiga, as JL is now locked out of the connector position for the moment, and that's going to free up the time for a plant. Yet another Molotov.
He has to it out. Bomb finally planted here. JL, a big disadvantage in this one. They're actually inside of the smoke, practically hugging each other. Leah goes down. That would have been a sick play in any other round, but now instead it's a little bit of trouble. Khan under the cover of smoke. He should have the advantage. He barely wins the fight. It's so close there. But honestly, Nemiga, they should have never been in this round. I think just a lesson for everyone watching of what not to do if you're Bit.
Yes. Yes, this is a great shot. I mean, you have to give it to Santa. That is a phenomenal shot, but
yes.
But still, the difficulty at which the round was closed after that point. I mean, you had such a great performance in the upper area by Ima to make it really sketchy. But it's great that Nemiga are able to close it nonetheless. And that's important, because if you allow Navi to run away with that CT side momentum, you know, things are going to get, you know, very difficult for you very quickly.
Yes.
So Nemiga get the pressure on early here on train.
Yeah, quick timeout being called here. Blade wants, I'm sure, a conversation with the troops there. You are right, though. It was kind of a devastating shot from Santa, but it's not in any other, like later in the half, it's fine if you want to do that push on the CT side, but it's like a risk versus reward kind of calculation that you're making. And what's the reward for killing a couple of people with pistols? Like almost nothing, but yeah, the risk is unbelievable. Nice early grenade out of CT spawn being thrown. Lands very quickly in T main. Trading more utility here. Double grenade to land if you want to push. There's Bit back at it again. This time it's a lot better. Even traded, it's not necessarily that bad. Wonderful. It's going to be picking up Khan as well. 3 versus 4.
Oh, that's brutal, isn't it? It's still workable as the T side, but it's very annoying. And the CTs can settle into pretty passive setups. They could go 2 to a site, but they're actually going for a 1-3 here, expecting that Nemiga might rotate back out, but rotation out, they're creeping up. Nice shot there from Wonderful. So reliable on the AWP. Now it's just Leah. Gets the bomb down for the extra cash, at least. But is there any headshots to follow here for Leah? Can he make this at least uncomfortable for Navi? First fight, well, that's going to be lost, and Navi are going to quickly reset Nemiga. And they are looking too clean with it right now.
Scary proposition as well for Nemiga if Wonderful is going to start to hit shots like that. Someone that's been, you know, criticized and praised in sort of, you know, in a different weird mix, I would say.
Equal measure.
Yeah, it sort of, I feel like it almost depends on the week what the community, you know, think of him. But you just got to remember as well, just just to say, Wonderful had to fill Simple's shoes coming into this to the Navi camp. That is such a ridiculous ask, you know? Like, you're always going to be criticized. There's someone, you know, or people are always going to be gunning for you. But yeah, good shots in this round regardless. Timeout called now. Nemiga want a chance to figure out what is up next. Just want to point out, we still haven't really seen those Pop Dog and A splits coming out from the Nemiga side. I think we all kind of know what they look like right now, but I think they've become a very common thing for the T side to try and do on the map, and it works super well, so why not?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm just hoping Nemiga gets some, you know, good rounds that will then, as a byproduct, facilitate some Lear pop-off moments.
Right. Yeah, you're right. We've been missing that. Pretty quick into main. Tapping away is Alexi. Oh, it's going to be right for the smoke. Fair play, JL, but I guess they take one back. Risky Bob goes down. So Alexi successfully clicking away with that shot. 4 versus 4. And they are almost pulling back the 4th member of the team here, Navi, at least towards C connector. So they're pretty quick on the rotation if they need to. It will be the split through Pop Dog as well. Alexi holding this forward position and actually being allowed to find that fight against Khan. That's a bit uncomfortable, but they've taken out Imma and Alexi's dead as well. Wonderful. And Bit both smoked out for the minute.
What's the danger here? What a shot there. I don't even understand. We'll have to see the replay of that one.
That's a no-scope.
Oh my god. And back around the corner, Bit takes down the bomb, and now Xanta with it all to do. Lots of time, but okay, he's found the back of one player, but surely this angle's being covered. You've got to realize, Xanta, how will he play this one? Looking to see where the other player is. He's found, he's read it. Oh, that's fantastic there from Xanta. That is what Nemiga needed to see.
Yeah, so well played. And it's the information that he has. Like, once he gets the other fight, he knows he's favored in the second one. Okay, scary round, to be honest. Alexi for the smoke and then getting the other one. That's the no scope. That's so stupid. He's so far away as well. Fair enough, but Xanta here. And
there we go. That's what I was asking for, Anders.
Yeah, we get what we wanted. Okay, look at the pressure that it puts onto the Navi economy. Already dropping a bit low here. We're gotta remember, just to remind you if you joined a little bit late, Navi have only really played this map once in the last 3 months, twice in the last 6 months. Just to be clear, it's not a map that they played.
Interesting spot there. The flash not kind of going where it's supposed to. And then the back away from the position. But that's still a position that, you know, Nemiga, like, well, they pop flash this. There could be someone close. Through the holes here for Nemiga. And 3-player setup again for Navi.
Yeah, that's a pretty strong counter. I would expect this defense to hold. Actually, even if they're a little bit low on weapons, it's very easy on the T side here to lose. You know, you kill 1 or 2 and you just don't expect a 3rd player. And so we'll see if that happens. But yeah, the math is working against you just on its own. 45 seconds. And look at the rotation through T-spawn as well for Alexi. So they're getting more and more sure that something is happening. Bit goes down at the start, so that's a really nice entry. Xanta to pick it up. Wonderful here, fighting for his life, and they lost Imra. So actually, really good trade. I don't hate it. But now they're fighting even before the bomb is down, and they are so low on health. And that long flank from Alexi is going to start to close in behind them. Great move from JL not to fight. He wants to stay put. Now they're going to come fight him, and he's going to win it on both of them. So very nice conversion. But JL is actually playing it so smartly. He's waiting for Alexi to get there. Strong defense for Navi, and a real pain for Nemiga to end up losing this round.
Yeah, it really is. I think, you know, those players, I mean, it's hard right now because Navi, you know, no matter where Nemiga go, Navi are going to have a pretty strong setup. You're not going to catch them off guard. That is part and parcel of playing Train. You know, I think it's one of the most difficult things on the T side is really confusing the CTs as to what you're going to be doing, and the rotation times are really fast for the CTs, so even if they figure it out late, they can still get there and have a good setup in time. And we've seen this now from Navi a couple times where they'll put 3 on the B-bomb site, and it requires an argument, so they'll like keep it so util, like you described with the key main retake util, for them to then rotate, and then again, fast rotation times, so then they just have, it's like, you know, they're super safe against basically everything, because they always get the info they need to make a good choice.
And I like to see Lexi, you know, on those kind of a flanks. I think it's a sign that you're starting to feel a bit more comfortable. Those Ivy pushes are so important to be able to do on the CT side. You don't have to do them every single round, but just the threat of it for the T side. If the T's all group up outside of B, they have to feel like it's a danger that, you know, that they're all there and that they don't know what's happening on Ivy or main. You want to make sure that they feel that pressure, as you know, if they're all grouped up somewhere else. This time, it's going to be a couple of AKs, some MAC-10s, and Speedy towards the B ramp. Straight down the stairs we go, and Bit overwhelmed. In spite of the incendiary, they just power their way through. Wait a minute, Bit got the kill on Khan. An hour later, how? Jail with the spray down. They're so quick to retake this, Navi. I don't understand it. They had a great job here at the beginning, Nemiga. They'd actually got their way through, and then it blows up in their face. That incendiary just kept burning forever.
They don't have any idea about Lear. He's managed to sneak his way to subterfuge here in the enemy lines, and he's going to find Alexi P, who's so ready, actually. Lear unable to get anything extra done, but yes, the response time from Navi is pretty insane. So here is that initial incendiary. And how does Carl die? Oh, he backs into it. He backs into it. That's so unfortunate.
Yeah, just trying to stay warm.
Oh, no. JL's been really, really reliable on the rifle, too, so far.
Yes. And having him, like, he's 12 and 2, the fact that he's playing that C connector means he's everywhere. You can't really avoid him, right? That's how the map is designed.
6-2. I think one of the most successful rounds that in of itself had a lot of drama was that fast outside take. Risky Bolt got that entry.
Yeah.
But also, you know, nothing feels reliable from Nemiga. Every round where they get into a spot where maybe there's a bomb plant, it's just clutches that have to also then be won.
It's not been easy. Not at all. Wonderful's out there, still hitting shots with the AWP. I mean, yeah, it's slowly closing in around Nemiga. Should be a 7th round here without too much issue. Bit pushing. This time, I don't like it. I realize I sound like I'm a bit crazy because I'm criticizing him when he's pushing sometimes, but not other times. But it was just that one round I didn't like it. Ever since then, it's been great. He's found the bomb as well.
Yeah, that's a good fight.
Yeah.
You know, they have to come back for that one. But also, you know, for the T's, it's kind of nice because if you do want to go for damage, you know they're probably going to be protecting it. So, you know, you can get some fights there, but yeah, not too much on this happening on this round. We've seen a lot of this, Anders, I think, on in the stage 1 and stage 2 at least. We saw a lot of train games where the T side was extraordinarily difficult for anyone who was playing it.
Yeah. Well, in my opinion, one of the reasons is just that we're still kind of living in a world where a lot of the Ivy branch of any kind of an attack just isn't there. Now, admittedly, Ivy is different from what it was in earlier versions of Train, and I think a lot of people still kind of hate it, even though it's been changed a little bit since release. I also don't like it. It just feels weird because if you're coming in on the T side, you're volunteering yourself into sort of a 3-way crossfire, and that just doesn't feel that good. But without Ivy, the map becomes a lot more, I don't want to say one-dimensional, but it's a lot easier to predict what's going to be happening. So I think on some level, if you want to be really good on this map, you have to find a way. There are some teams that do it, so yeah, it's definitely possible, but a lot of teams don't find it very comfortable to try and push Ivy, and it takes away an enormous amount of strats. JL with a laser shot on the spray, and unfortunately, that's a 4-on-5 to start with.
It really is everywhere. 14-2 now on the scoreboard for him.
And look at Wonderful. Pushing down towards the bottom here. The bomb, by the way, is back there. If he keeps swinging and he sees it on the ground, you know someone's going to have to go and pick it up. There's the pickup for a second. Risky Bob has to let go of the C4. And now it's 5 versus 3. Navi showing up on a map that they have played, like I said, and I think Dupree said the same, once in the last 3 months. It's not something that you normally have to worry about with Navi, them trying to pick this map, but to me, it's so obvious that they had to change their map pool coming into the major. So I'm actually really excited for this. It does make them a more unpredictable team now. Yeah, that's fun to see.
Yeah, Navi looking in just such great form at the moment, which I think is really good to see. You know, we're already getting to see, obviously, some of the top dogs, you know, entering into stage 3, and we get to see in today's matches, you know, what form are they walking into the tournament with. And, you know, so far, you know, we had on this stream Obviously, Vitality couldn't get going on that Inferno game against Legacy, but Legacy certainly good. But then you have Spirit. Spirit with Dog and Shiro both looked in fantastic form.
Yeah.
Now Navi. Wonderful's hitting everything. JL's been absolutely a beast on the rifle, and they're looking like a complete brick wall for Nemiga so far.
Yeah, I think that's a fair way to describe it. 14-2 on JL, 13-4 on Wonderful, and who even cares what everyone else is doing? But the fact is, Bit's also got 11 kills, and him being the B anchor just makes it, or at least one of them, is going to be really, really hard to deal with. It feels like the opportunities are slipping away from Nemiga. They're running out of chances here. I mean, you're not even safe in T-spawn. That's the truth of it.
No, definitely not. Goodbye. Good sir. 8-2, Nemiga. We know they can definitely play the CT side. T side highly laboured. Can they get anything extra? Just pistols on the board here mostly. Hero AK on to Khan, and there's a pop flash play in. Is this going to be exploited? Okay, well there's nobody there. Voided the position, have Nemiga, that teammate, as have Navi after taking it.
Yeah, but again, it's that very same conversation. It forces Nemiga now, if they want to retake it, to make a tough decision about what they're doing. Seems like they are happy Navi with a bit of a 3-2 setup, but they've checked out Popdog as well. So they're just slowly gathering more and more and more information. See if they want to rotate back. Yes, they will. Emma reading it. And again, it's based off the same principles. And I guess that's maybe a point of criticism for Nemiga. It's just that it is a lot easier to read this game for Navi right now. They're so sure, Navi, that if anyone's going to be back now pushing A, we're going to hear it way before they come. We'll have 10 seconds of warning. We can rotate people back. And if not, we've got 3 people in the B-bomb side.
And we'll see if we get any entries here. Ime will go down as trade. Still XCB below. Oh, the spray's not going to really pay off there. Khan takes him down, but it's a problem. They have to deal with Bit very quickly. Bit, excellent rifle work here. Eventually will go down, but Shui will fall as well. Or rather, well, there we go. Wonderful's going to finish him off. Khan also not really standing a chance, and it's interesting, Anders, because Navi, they're not even doing some of the more disruptive plays.
No.
Like, you know, the pop dog pushes or, you know, Ivy. There's like a lot of disruptive stuff that against, let's say, like a much higher tier team that I think you would expect to see them doing, but they're just keeping it simple here.
I think the challenge to Navi's defense when they do the stuff that they've just done, right? Navi clear, T-main and pop dog, and then they rotate a third man to the B-bomb side. That's the bread and butter of what they've been doing for a lot. The challenge to that should be a 3-way split coming through Ivy, main, and pop dog. So even if you get caught there, but like just the fact that you are playing, you know, 5v2 out in the yard, even if it's only for like 5 seconds, you're going to be doing that, and then the backup is going to be there. I still think that is the more exploitable way to do it. Nice clear here for Khan. That's actually a hard position to clear, to be honest. So I don't think Alexi was expecting to be peaked at all. But at the end of it, it is a 9-2 half so far, at least for Navi, going to round number 12 here. Nemiga, even if they get this one, they're in so much trouble here. I don't think 2 or 3 or even 4 rounds is time to kind of get there on the T side, but I kind of expect a little bit more here. They're trying to go quick out of main to put some pressure on, but they've been slowed down again. You can rush main. It's risky, but nothing else has been working.
Yeah, and Jail's gotten himself into that forward position right outside. Really awkward spot to deal with. For this last round, Nemiga carefully trying to find their way back to the B site now.
There's nobody on.
Entry on the upper side.
There's not a single defender on B. They're playing 5 early in the yard. That's how sure Navi were, by the way, that it was going to be some sort of an early A execute. Wonderful takes a peek back in and realizes, oh dear, there's going to be a bomb plant here and a very tough retake. And by the way, retake grenades on this map are so hard to throw from the connector position. Yeah, very strange architecture going on there. Bit's going to be going down to Santa Jail on what has to be one of the longest flanks ever. He's still walking there. This should be an impossible retake.
Yeah, last round of the half though, so we're going to see them go for it. Couple kills coming the way of Navi. So everyone's bunched up around connector here for Nemiga. This is the last stand for them on the defense. Can Navi take him out? It's looking very difficult now. Just JL, who has been incredible, 16-2. Can he find anything else here? He makes
they know he's coming.
Really not very much time. 3 players. It's going to have to be the most insane rifle work ever to pull this one off, and he's going to fall away. Not even going to give them a chance to kill him. They're going to might run into him for an extra one. No, there we go. Bob gets it, and that's going to be at least a 9-3 half. Is something to work with as we go into the next half here for Nemiga.
Navi have had their struggles this year, that's for sure. Blade has made no secret, that's the coach of Navi, he's made no secret that the win came earlier than anticipated or warranted in his mind. He felt like, we'd only just got the team together and they had won the first major of CS2. For him, he's vocalized that was kind of like ahead of schedule. My main gripe with Navi is wonderful. This guy is a feast or famine player. He is either absolutely devouring his opponents or he is invisible. It's a conversation about he's not hitting the easy ones sometimes, but sometimes he's hitting the impossible ones, which can leave the fans a bit confused as to what to expect from him as an individual, but he is an incredibly gifted player. It's just about having some consistency. And Alexi B's calling, mashed together with the talent they have, Navi are capable of lifting another trophy. Just right now, the results have not been there. In the house of some of the greats. Simple from Ukraine, an incredibly gifted player, the GOAT by almost every definition. CS2, he kind of stepped away from the game, and so they had to move on, replacing him with Wonderful and rebuilding a roster that, Blade has full overseer privileges. This is his team, make no mistake. For some teams, the coach, is more of like a cheerleader. This is the boss man. He's built a roster that is a contender, already lifted a major trophy, and now looking to do the same in Austin.
Welcome back, everybody. We are in the second half now. It's Nemiga versus Navi. We're on Train, which, if you know anything about Navi, should make you raise an eyebrow. How did we get to Train? Well, I think Navi have been spending the last 4 weeks prepping some of these maps because their map pool is super weird. So they needed to improve on this one. They probably need to improve on a couple more because otherwise they're going to get blown up by some of the top-level teams. But yeah, testing it against Nemiga right now. And it's a great efficiency. Nemiga couldn't really do much in the first half, unfortunately, right? They end up with 3 rounds to the 9 of Navi.
This is definitely where I think it's getting interesting because I think Nemiga, of course, will have a much easier time playing the CT side. See if they can start off with a pistol. Nice snipe!
Okay.
From Xanta.
Okay.
That's a big snipe. And that's going to give a decisive edge. However, much more work to be done. Not a lot of support if Xanta does get rushed down. There is a player from Connector, which I believe is Khan. He's going to be looking to find some assistance here. You can see looking at that slope, that ramp, the stairs there into the site. But will Navi actually commit to this? Looks like they're going to. They have all the nades for it. Got to keep it simple.
Yeah, you might as well. Cool little smoke being set up. Flash to try and create some space with. And they're pushing into Khan already. Xanta falling away. He's going to find one more. Great headshot. Okay, then. Some clicks coming up with the Glock. The bomb is being planted right now, so at least they're going to achieve that much. But there is a kit in play on Lear, even if he's kind of low on health here. Khan ends up going down, and suddenly this round is in question again. Nemiga, in spite of the early kills going their way, It's not one already here. And that 9 health, you can't throw the kit over to a teammate. So Lear, he's going to try and get a bit closer here to see if he can do anything with it. Risky Bob and Sway, it's a nice setup for it. But now it's on JL, back there with the P250, and what a clean out. Sway hitting some great shots, and now the kit's going to be put into play, no issue. So they win the pistol on the second half. That's important.
I thought for sure that connector setup would... There it is from there. He loves it, doesn't he? That's his signature move. I do think, I mean, obviously these shots from Xanta were really nice, but when we get to that position where Navi have that 2-man setup, down here by the cog outside connector, that's really hard to deal with. You can just see how awkward it is for the CTs, but seeing the shots connected, definitely a good sign of confidence there from Nemiga. So they get to start off with a pistol of their own. However, force spike out from Navi, so a lot of danger on the board there for Nemiga to deal with.
You gotta appreciate the fact that Lear is doing this on 2 kills, but he's obviously not doing it for himself. He's doing it for the benefit of his team, right? He knows they have to be laughing their way through this. It has to be a good mood on the team. I think that's really great leadership. Like, don't mistake the fact that he thinks he's like, you know, I'm laughing at you. You've got 2 kills, haha. Like, I'm better. Like, that's not what it's about. He's definitely showing his team. Don't worry.
Consistent output.
Yes.
Because otherwise, if he goes quiet and he's being loud in all the other games, definitely doesn't signal good things.
Yeah, I fully agree. It's been a lot of fun. And I would say, I mean, apart from this one, individually, he's also been playing really, really well. But obviously, it was a tough first half all across the board for them. We'll see. The bomb plant allows for a buy, 3 Deagles and 2 Galils. And plenty of time on the clock still. We'll see what Nemiga decides to do. I mean, we talked a lot about it in the first half, how Navi's defense was constructed around forcing utility use if they wanted to go A. Could be a similar kind of thing here. We'll see if Navi decide to grenade out that front position, or if they just walk in there. They certainly have the Molotovs if they want to, you know, Molotov out main. Khan playing close.
It can be very strong. First kill's a bit late, but though it takes a bit too long, and that opens up bit for the trade. Good position from Risky Bob, but he is alone here. Got to be very careful not to give away a kill. Good hold. Risky Bob. I think he's done his job, but it's still a 2v2.
Should be enough.
Very risky. Right now from Nemiga. Oh, good headshot from Xanta. Turns it around. Now wonderful on 12 points of health. Has the M4, but that's going to be collected back up there for Nemiga.
So, I understand you. The timing there for Navi is actually kind of interesting. They do Molotov out main. And as they're doing that, they flash their way in for the fight against Khan here, right? So you see the fire behind here? That's Navi clearing out that position. So it's a nice timing to try and find where, you know, there's a lot of chaos happening, a lot of attention's being drawn away, but Khan just stood his ground, and obviously Risky Bob to follow it up. And again, Navi running into a similar kind of issue, which is, again, when you throw those Molotovs in main, you get slowed down. Like, yes, there might be a CT there, but either way, you have to wait out your own Molotov, and that's annoying.
Well, here's a push on Ivy. This could be very nice here for Nemiga. Let's see, there's a follow-up flash. That's actually so nice.
Okay.
The timing on that one. 5v3 early here for Nemiga, and it's going to be a 6-9 scoreline if they keep this up. Unless there is a disaster of some kind. And, you know, I think this is the test for Navi, Anders, is that, again, like I said, the the T side is so much more difficult to understand how to play super well. And
yes.
so, and Nemiga have a good CT side, so getting back into it on the economy, it's going to be a real test here for Navi. I can't wait to see what they have to show.
Now, if you remember early on, Nemiga, I think, played Bedboom on this map right at the start of the whole major, and they ended up losing because Bedboom are really, really good on this one. But just again, sort of, you know, CIS region Counter-Strike, I kind of expect that that they will know and have borrowed some stuff here. And this kind of thing, pushing Ivy this aggressively with the flash follow-up, it's a very Bedboom-esque kind of play. So hopefully they can sort of borrow and steal even more of it. We'll know that they're really stealing for Bedboom if we start to see a bunch of orcs coming out on the CT side. That'll be the immediate sign that something is up. But it's 9-6, and honestly, Nemiga have kind of managed to revive this game a little bit. And now again comes the question, how much do Navi know about playing the T side of this? We don't know, because we've only seen one game in the last 3 months.
Totally, and we're going to get the outside hit coming on through. And oh, big position there from Risky Bob. Up close, gets traded out though. And there is the response from Lear. He's going to go down. Trades galore for both sides. Down to a 2 versus 3 for Nemiga on the defense. Big damage on the spray through the smoke to drop Xanta. Khan with the AWP would love to clutch this 1v3. I don't know how doable it is. Oh my god, how has that not spread to Khan? That's outrageous. It's like on his head.
It's actually on him. Just CS2 things. Well, yeah, Alive gets the shot onto Immer. Still so much work to be done, and he's already down to 48, so you gotta wonder if it's worth it. Even tried, he's not sure. He's hoping that he's gonna bait someone into it. It's a nice idea. If somebody was there, maybe they peek into it, but as it is, he's gonna have to make a bit of an escape. And JL knows he's hunting him down. Khan realizing his footsteps probably were heard, so pretty good read to take down JL. But honestly, an even better call for Navi. It's the sheer speed with which they get out. And you can just tell that Nemiga aren't quite ready for it. In spite of the fact that they had good positioning, it's just so fast.
And the thing about it that's interesting too is that it's hard for Navi to know how replicable that round is, because there's a lot of variance here, trades upon trades upon trades, and so it could have been very winnable for Nemiga. And Navi's position now is that they lost 4 players, so they could get reset on the economy very easily if they lose a round by just trying to run that again and the variance doesn't hit their way. So, you know, logic stands, and is that it's unlikely they would try to do just a super fast rush again. And it seems more likely they'll try to play the map a bit slower.
Yeah, but the cool thing is that same strategy can be repeated, but just in a slow version. There's nothing stopping you from doing that a little bit later on. Yes, you have that main problem that we keep just harping on about, but apart from that, like it's definitely doable. Timeout now. Blade wants a chance to have his say. A player that himself, when he was active, you know, didn't always have the strongest resources on his teams in terms of like getting all the star players and, you know, building all that stuff. And even then, he was so highly regarded in the space as being, you know, a fantastic in-game leader. You could say he did a lot with very little. And now that he's coaching, obviously, not a lot of people can question what he's able to do.
He got simple at the start of his career as well.
Yeah, but that was uncontrollable simple, you know?
Yes, it was. It was so amazing. We can go back into that later because it was actually so
the early Blade simple interactions are wild, aren't they? All right, failed smoke. That's a bit funny. Probably doesn't have a really big impact, to be honest, at this stage. But could we please see the split through CT spawn? Train is probably my second favorite map. Wow, stumbling or having a seizure, I don't know. But regardless, it's probably my second favorite map of all time. And it's specifically because of the potential splits coming through CT spawn. Shui, though, ruining my day by taking out JL. Might be ruining his day as well. Bit's going to be going down early on.
This is huge.
Yeah, Khan hitting shots.
Again, the money for both teams is wrecked. This is a massive advantage for Nemiga. What a round this would be to win, especially if they can do it clean. And now Navi looking to go for the Hail Mary play. 3 players left. 2 upper into the B site. There's 2 players to respond to this. There's not a player that's super fast to connect to right now, but as I say that, we are getting a move here from Nemiga. If they play delay on the site, that's going to make things very hard for Navi. The help is on the way here through connector. Sway gets Alexi beat. Lear in, as is Sway, to finish off the remainder of Navi. That's fantastic work.
Navi look a little bit muted right now. Lear shouting at them from across the room. And this is, as exciting as it is to see Navi veto into this map, it's also scary. Yes, you've had like 3 or 4 weeks to do this in secret, right? Like you could have prepped this map and nobody knows about it. Obviously, what's the idea? But also you haven't tested it in a real setting. So how does that play out? Nobody knows.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm excited for this. 10-7.
I know, it's so close now.
This is totally winnable for Nemiga right now. You can tell even individually, apart from Leah, who's still at 4 kills, everybody else has stepped it up now. They are ready. Santa's hitting crazy shots straight at the end of it. They're even trying to get wall banks. Khan is there with the AWP. A lot is working out. Now taking that front main position. Navi will have heard this going on, right? It's pretty close to where they are, so they know that much. Santa, pretty good sniper away. Probably don't want to re-peek it. No.
Yeah, that's one of those spots where are you trying to play for info or are you trying to play for kills? Usually I think the info, get your teammates in position, but of course fast rotation. Whoa, okay, wonderful. Finds one from downtown into Risky Bob, and now there's problems. There are problems. You need a big performance from the remainder here of Nemiga. They've got to find these kills here. Around the side though, Bit. He's going to catch a second. 2 players for free, basically, just off of position alone. And in comes Lear. It's now his time to get kills. 90 health removed from Lear as Bit goes down with a dink.
He's got the dink. Just go for the smoke defuse. It's a pistol on top. If he just crouches in there, there's a chance that Imma has no idea where it is. He's on the high ground still with that P250. Look, how does he know the angle? He can't easily find it. Knife is out and he stabs him right in the nick of time.
Oh, that's catastrophe, Anders. That is an absolute catastrophe. And perhaps all coming down to an over. Again, you either are indexing to get information on a peak, or you're indexing to take a fight, and it looked like Xanta wanted more. It looked like he was not sure about what his job was.
Yes, I would comfortably say that is a mistake. And it's the same kind of mistake that Bit made in the first half. So both teams now, a painful lesson in what not to do. He already had the first kill. There's nothing to win by re-peeking it. And even if you just get the information, even if that's all you wanted, I would still say, well, yeah, but who cares where they are? You've got a 4 and 5 with all the rifles. I don't really care where the T's are running.
You're the lonely player on the side. With that said, we do have that more close-up play here up the pop dog from Nemiga, looking to try to find an early opening. Heavy Ivy though for Navi,
which is great because they've just been hurt. They've just been called in by Bit. He knows that there's so many people pushing that pop dog position. They're going to clear it wide open. It's a very good time for Navi to make this call, and it's based off of Bit's information, I believe, early on. Pushing into main, a bit desperate here. Nemiga shut down as Khan unable to find the kill onto Imma. Xanta, it's nice close range, but it leaves Risky Bob. They're coming for him. Either way, he's completely locked in here. It's Alexi with a finishing headshot, but if not him, it would have been somebody else. There's nothing that Risky Bob can really do to escape that. So Navi, just when it's about to spiral way out of control, which it really was, they've turned it around now. And honestly, unfortunately, in part due to that Xanta repeat.
It is so sad for Nemiga. Just that one play. They were set up to look so good into this one, and losing to the pistols there, 12-7. Definitely not over just yet, but look at their buy.
Yeah.
Speaking of pistols, my goodness.
What a painful lesson to have to learn. First game in the 3rd stage of the major before playoffs, and oh, okay.
Hello.
That's different.
Different indeed. It's a 5v3. All right, so maybe the drama is not over just yet here. And it's on train. Nemiga, they pick up 2 AKs there. That's massive work. Ivy committing to Ivy. Heavy commit to Ivy. They get the opening at least onto Sway. Oh, that JL is looking absolutely savage on these entries.
As he is, he's got 20 kills. And only 9 deaths. He really does not want to get a chance here for Nemiga to get back in, crouching through, landing a 3rd headshot there. It's Imma to help out, and in spite of a potential recovery, it's going to be too late now. 1 versus 3. And Xanta, they know that he was playing over on that B ramp, so they're not going to be too surprised by this. Peeking right into it as Imma will just slap that out of his hands. And Navi recover a dangerous position in the second half as they take down Nemiga on train.
Yes, Navi experimental train, and that is good to get in there, so they have more data to work with this early stages. They're looking to win this tournament after all, Anders, testing out that map pool, and they will deal handily with Nemiga.
Yeah, it's really, really well played. I think it's a nice position for them to be allowed to test this map early on against a team like Nemiga, and they definitely were tested. I so would have loved to have seen what would have happened if they hadn't lost that one pivotal round. I think there was a big opportunity there for Nemiga, but at the end of it, 13-7, so we're not going to criticize Navi too much. And obviously Jail and Wonderful playing super well. Bit had that one mistake that we ended up talking a lot about, but at the end of it, like, he still played a really good game. So yeah, Navi looking, I would say, pretty strong early on. And I would say there are 3 other maps right now that they sort of need to improve on some level. So it's curious to see. Obviously, Nuke is another map that they don't really play. Say Ancient, some of the defaults are pretty good, but both Ancient and Anubis are maps that Navi also need to improve. So hopefully it just means they're going to be a difficult team to exploit in the veto. We'll find out, and there's a bit of an interview coming up as well.